There's one cruise question I wanted to ask you is, do you think that you're locked into this content forever?
It's good for the audience to note this, that there's a lot of people on YouTube. We know even some very big, successful YouTubers who I'm not going to name names, who I've literally had them come up to me at conventions, like depressed, devastated, like I am so tired of doing blank.
I'm pretty sure that that's me at every convention that I see you at.
But with me, you get so happy. Is it fake? Hey, I have to say this though too before you answer that, especially because the podcast is getting close to wrapping up. Ricky and I have said for years, when people ask who's one of the realest, nicest YouTubers there is, your name is always there.
Yep.
You have grown to substantial levels and never treated anybody like you're anything different than them, which is huge because being on YouTube for 12 years, we've seen it.
Oh yeah, we've seen
it. We've had personal friends tail out. I'm getting bigger. You've never treated anybody different. Your fans different. Community. You don't care if you never met Ben and Beto back there and Kurt. I don't freaking care. What's up, bro? Nice. And you're a kind person. So I have to say, props to you.
Thank you.
I feel like we had to say that in there somewhere at this point.
Thank you.
Because you're always up there at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Besides like 100 other people.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just kidding.
I'm your 98th favorite YouTuber.
Yeah, we got you in there.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is always one of my favorite comments people will give when they meet you at a convention. Like, dude, you're my 4th favorite. I love you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you, but
I get that all the time. I've had so many people go, "You're my 8th favorite YouTuber." Like, oh, thank you. Like, number 7 is this person. I'm like, you don't have to.
I'm already dead.
You can just say I am one of your favorite, and we're good.
Yeah. So let's hear it. Back to the question. What was the question?
It was, are you locked into this style of
Yes, content creators get locked. Like us, we're game hunting. Thank God we love doing it. But if we do anything else, the views aren't there as much.
Yeah.
So for you, you're a completionist. You complete games. You kind of been in that realm. Yes, you've deviated a little bit and you're more of a story. But can you go out and vlog at Chuck E. Cheese and survive on YouTube if that's what you did?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And I think a lot of it is, well, and that's the thing is that, like I said earlier, the YouTube ecosystem changes. It's almost like you're playing a game that gets patch notes every few months, but they don't tell you what those patch notes are. So you don't know what's changed. And so you do the same thing and it doesn't work anymore.
You try to like manipulate it to work with the algorithm a little bit.
You change it up to try to make it better, or if that's what the algorithm wants and that doesn't work. And then you get depressed and you're like, well, screw it, no one watches. And then it does well. Like, you kind of go through these several stages of grief of, I love making the thing that I like to make. It's my favorite thing ever. I enjoy making it, but there is a view cap, which means I'm only beholden to this content. So that means that I'm not as good as I think, that I have to re-innovate myself. Oh, but the views are dropping anyways because the platform's changing. Now I have to clickbait myself or change my fundamentals of who I am as a person. And then I get my confidence back because I tried something new. And then that stops working. It's just this like weird graph of confidence that's constantly shaking and shifting. And so for me, I can't give that answer because I've had the same format roughly for 12 years now. And I've definitely changed that format significantly. I used to change the completionist format every year. And no one really knew that I did that. I did that for me to make the content different every single time. And over the years, people will get mad that I removed a feature of the show. I used to do full spoilers. I used to like complete the game and then tell you narratively how it wrapped up.
I remember.
People got mad because they were like, that's why I watch a show, because you'd play games I'd never want to play. But because YouTube changed, people were leaving the video early, which told YouTube the video sucked at the point where I talked about the spoilers.
Yep.
And so I had to not do that anymore. And people got mad at that. Like, oh, you used to be about spoiling the game and now you're not. That sucks. And so I used to see people leave when I would give the rating of the game. I give it completed. People would leave the last third of the video. So
You've
now
changed, man.
Yeah. So now I tell you what the rating is at the very top. So you know what I said in the beginning. So there's no reason for you to leave. You can hear all my words and you leave when you want to leave, as opposed to like, well, I saw the ending and I want to see the credits. So it's become a hard thing to answer because I'm constantly trying to innovate and not get stuck. I do know that if I do a completionist episode, the minimum threshold is somewhere between 120 to 300,000 views. So I know that as long as I do that, I'm in a good zone. The difference that's changed is that I can't do it on an obscure NES game anymore that no one's ever played.
Kung Fu Heroes.
No, City Connection. Like I love those games.
That game's fun.
I love. Oh, the music is in my head to this day. But I can't play those games anymore. I have to play the new stuff. I have to play Final Fantasy 16 or Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
And the turnover rate of the YouTube community is so much larger now. I said it earlier, but it's true. There are people doing what I am doing in a faster way.
Yeah.
In a more I'm on first kind of way.
Yeah.
But there's no one that can do it in my particular style and hopefully in my particular brand that makes you feel comfortable watching the content. So it's harder. I'd love to do, you guys encouraged me for years to get into doing retro game collecting, hunting.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to do a restoration show about arcade cabinets for years. I'd love to do these bigger projects that are like adjacent to my brand of completing. I recently just did a video where I went to France and completed every ride at Disneyland Paris.
I watched it.
Thank you.
That's when I talked to you.
That's the one I was talking about. Like, it was almost like a vlog style, but it was really nice. It was
Yeah.
really
Yeah, bro.
Well, and-
hey, yo, what up, guys? It's me, Gerard. I'm back
what's up,
here.
it's your boy.
But I mean, even like when you branch out and do your music side, when you're Big Bow on your Big
Bad Bosses. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And that was
You
pretty
did your
awesome, too.
research.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
gotta
He
do
went
it.
from having no idea who you were to just binging you.
Oh yeah, no, trust me, I had to. But I honestly, like when I got like dove into it, you could see the style changes. Because like what I would do is I would watch a video at 6 months, and I'd watch it at 12 months, and I'd go even further, watch your first video, and then I went and I was like, okay, let me watch your entire like
I will say he liked
10-year
it.
completion. Yeah, I like.
Because he was texting us privately without knowing you were listening or anything. He's like, dude, this is great.
Oh man, thank God.
And like you're very well spoken, even if it might have a little bit of script, but you bring a personality to it that most people wouldn't really realize unless you went through your entirety of your content. You know what I mean? So that's a kudos to you, man.
Thank you,
and you don't
man.
need it from me because I mean I'm not even really in the content game, but
Hey, bro, you're
as
you're
a
part of the crew.
viewer, I would say that it's a very enjoyable.
Oh, thank you, man. I always say the show is designed for folks like you. It's designed for people who like don't like. We say it's two things. Our mantra in the show is there's two things. One, we make content for people who don't like video games. You don't know what a video game is? Great. Here's a 15-minute video of why you should love this video game. You don't need to know anything about it. This is why I love it. This is why playing it's hard. This is how the big boys who complete it experience it, and leave it at that. The second thing I say is I'm a content creator's content creator. I have a lot of content creators who watch my stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the most successful. But I am definitely the one that's like, I'll get texts from content creators that have millions of subscribers more than me, and they'll just go, dude, your newest video is sick. Thank you for making it. Like that to me is more important than being on the Mount Rushmore
Of
S
YouTubers.
rank. Yeah.
Okay, do we have time for another topic?
I would say no.
I would say, I mean,
We're pushing it. We
Oh,
can't.
all right.
153. I'd say we tap it out for the sake of Beto
Could
back
I ask
there.
one question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
ask
Do you
him.
have any other like future plans, of, like what you would like to do other than the?
Well, he
Completionist?
said his biggest goal is to be at every SoCal Gaming Expo.
Oh, that's yeah.
So far, I've been to all of them, so I'm
gotta complete it.
good. Yeah.
No, yeah, but go ahead and answer
And if
it.
there was like something else besides what you did, I guess it goes hand in hand with that. Like, what would be something else like you would want to do? I think you mentioned something about a store earlier. I don't know if that's on
Yeah,
the
well,
horizon or-
I definitely thought about opening up my own game store, and I immediately was like, I don't know anything about it, and I'm not sure if.
competition.
No, yeah, South Bend. He lives right down the
He's
road.
just asking so he knows like where to like, push you out. Yeah.
No, so I thought about doing a game store. Nowadays, I'm leaning more towards opening up my own barcade.
Cool.
Nice.
Because there's a lot of barcades in LA, but there's a lot of boroughs in LA that don't have them, and especially because so many events happen in LA, I could easily rent out this barcade to any content creator who wants to have like a game night, or during Summer Games Fest or E3, we could throw parties there, or rent the place out. So that's something I'd love to do.
SoCal after party.
Absolutely.
There you go. There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Thanks, Gerard.
Yeah, of course.
That's why he asked him. God,
Yeah.
baited him.
The original vision of the Completionist, no one really knows this, was based off the show Game Center CX.
Yeah.
You guys know that show at all? That show, if you haven't watched it, like I could never make the Completionist that way, but that was the intent. The whole point of Game Center CX is they lock a guy in a room. They basically say you can't leave until you beat this game. And there's a whole narrative about how he conquers it. And it's like one of the most well-respected Japanese TV shows that's still going on till this day that everyone knows about. And that's what I wanted the Completionist to be. but YouTube wasn't at that point. So I'd love to revisit that concept. I'd love to build things that aren't just completing stuff, because I can host TV shows, I can make movies, I can act, I can do all. I mean, I made a TV show called God of Work, which is like was really a passion project at G4 that I loved making. And so, you know, I am like a tool that can really do anything, and I just want to be able to just keep changing and growing while also making the Completionist so that people can still watch it.
Chris is a tool too.
Yeah, I know Riff wanted to ask this one question.
Uh-oh.
All right. And it was, pretend we just handed you the keys to the expo. What would you do?
Okay, so this was going to be its own topic. We'll wipe it out with our last few minutes.
Yeah.
Today, right? Pretend Chris and I and Ricky, things went south. We got to go. Here's SoCal Expo. Ching, it's in a month. What would you do?
I would call every YouTube friend I have on planet Earth to come to my expo.
Awesome.
I would say, hey, I'm throwing an expo and I need your help. Please come. I don't know what to do. Please show up. I'd cash in all my chips and say, let's make it a convention.
You found my notes? I'm glad you're working off the same script I am. I immediately called all my buddies. I'm like, I'm going to need some favors.
All right, we're going to complete this podcast.
Wow, good pun.
What?
Complete this podcast. How many
Man, you were
completionist
so
jokes
good.
do you get every year? Does everyone
Thousands.
Okay.
I can't do anything without someone like going to complete it. I'm like, it's like whether I'm eating food or like just.
He's just going poop.
I'm just.
Leave me alone.
Hey, are you completing in there?
I honestly feel like it's an unfinished one, so hopefully we can have you on in a future episode of with us. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come back for sure.
This was so awesome. Like, it was a great,
He said he
great
got here in
experience.
40 minutes.
That was
That's
easy
Dude,
drive.
I'll Uber you. I don't care.
Don't make him promises you can't keep.
I'll keep it if I need it. But anyway, I just want to say thank you to all the people out there that the audio description, the audio podcast will be in the description. We got over about 16,000 downloads right now. It's just, amazing support.
Thank you for the downloaders. I didn't know like people
Thank
take the
you.
time to download things because you know so many people watch us on YouTube, but I'm like people are going out of the way to download. That's so awesome. I think that's super cool.
Thank
And we're
you.
still new.
Give 5
We're still
stars.
fresh.
Leave a comment why you like the show.
Yeah,
it helps the algos.
Oh,
Do whatever he says.
Yeah, because he knows what he's doing.
Apparently.
Apparently.
All right, boys. Everybody, raise your foot and say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.